episode 7 of the Cottage house flip, and we're just about halfway done with the renovation. While there's only a couple months left, I can breathe a small sigh of relief because we just passed the single biggest milestone. Ladies and gentlemen, say goodbye to the orange wood paneling because the downstairs has been painted. I went with Valspar's Bistro White and Eggshell and can't get over how different this house feels. Since it's surrounded by pine trees and gets little natural light, a bright white shade was the best option to make the space feel open and airy instead of dark and dungeon-like. It also provides the perfect blank canvas for the decor I have planned. Apart from the new white walls, the siding has been finished around the exterior, and after discovering dry rot, a new back porch is being built. The upstairs bathroom brick floors have been grouted, and I think they look pretty amazing with the new white walls. For this week's DIY project, I decided to start on the laundry room. The old countertop had already been removed, and I replaced it with some 2x12-inch reclaimed wood I bought at a local lumber yard. After the wood was cut and secured into place, I sanded down the rough surface, and I'll be applying a lacquer to protect it next week. Next, it was time to move on to the cabinets. I had planned to paint and add new hardware, but at the last minute decided to update the front with trim in the same style and method I used for the bedroom closet doors. All I needed for this project was 2 pieces of 8-foot lattice molding from Lowe's and liquid nails. For my first piece, I positioned it diagonally across the door, lined up the edges, and traced my cut line with a pencil. Using a miter saw, I cut along the line on each end, then held it back up on the door to make sure everything fit. Then I ran a bit of liquid nails along the backside and pressed it onto place. Since my door surface wasn't perfectly even and I wanted the trim to be secure, I used my nail gun to attach it. The next trim piece already had one end at the right angle from the last cut, so I repeated the process by holding it up to the door on the opposite end and lining it up the same way. This time I traced the line where it intersected with the first piece and made that cut. The same steps were taken for the bottom piece, and both were glued and nailed into place. And then I did it all over again for the second door. After the trim was up, I used my electric sander to go over any rough or uneven edges. Then it was time for paint. I went with the same color I used for the interior doors, Valspar's Cracked Pepper and Eggshell. Once the paint was dry, I added these fun vintage bronze handles I found on eBay for the finishing touch. Next weekend, the brick tile installation will begin, and I'll be stenciling the back wall to give this small space some big personality. While I had the black paint out, I also painted the front door and finished trimming out and painting the downstairs bathroom door. In the upstairs bathroom, I wasn't loving the orange window trim, so I sanded it down and gave it a subtle whitewash treatment so I could have a more natural wood look. For my last project, I turned my attention toward the bedroom closets. After the bedroom walls had been painted, I realized the gray closet doors were too light and didn't have enough contrast with the walls. I thought that the color I chose for the exterior of the house might be a better fit, so I picked up a gallon of Valspar's Woodlawn Colonial Gray and Eggshell and gave it a shot. Fortunately, it ended up being the perfect shade that I'd wanted all along. It dried to a nice neutral warm gray and is now my go-to color. I went over the trim and doors as well to give it a cleaner look, and plan to update the doors and trim in the other bedrooms too. With all of the painting progress, I'm feeling better about the deadline for the house to be on the market in mid-February. From here on out, things will start to move really fast, and there should be a lot of big updates each week. The kitchen cabinets are scheduled for installation next weekend, and I'll be there to document it and share it with you guys soon. Make sure you don't miss it by subscribing to my channel, and for details, sources, and links, you'll find it all on my blog. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you back here next week.